I could have made a very big biodata of Miss Deepa Kiran without asking her, because she's so much on the media. But I'm glad that in a way that I didn't find time to do that, and therefore I'll not be able to do that, which she will not mind. What I'll say is that my acquaintance with her is extremely brief, maybe just about a month at the most. But then it was sort of, I can say so at my age, love at first sight. Which means, sort of this is something which happens when you meet people who you feel are sending very positive vibrations and are creating a very good atmosphere around them. This is what Gary Zukav has called that when you meet members of your spiritual family, then you feel that there is something unique which you may not be able to describe, but you feel like spending time with that person and knowing that person more. And the more I have known her, the more I have come to appreciate her. She is a very versatile person, an international level storyteller, a musician, a singer, and a great scholar. I've seen only one chapter, glanced through one chapter which she has contributed to a book, and one realizes how much depth and detail she knows about the various folk traditions in the country. And not only that, it's a chapter which is well researched, which means she has gone into the original sources and then worked out a beautiful synthesis. So I'll not spend more time on that. Rather than leave more time for her to do whatever she likes. I left the choice to her, whether she likes to speak, sing, play music, or a combination of these. Anything that she feels like doing.
Namaste, 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 namaste. I bow to the light in you. You bow to the light in me. Namaste, 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 namaste. Wonderful. Namaste to everyone. And just beginning about a few interactions where I like to share what I enjoy doing the most, really taking off from what Sri Vidya ji spoke and what the rest spoke here. Do what you love, and a path will come through. Way back in 2008, my children were young, and I was apparently hale and healthy, but out of the blue, I developed a kidney malfunction. And I was on 80 tablets of steroids every day for about 6 months with no improvement in my condition. And I reached a point where I had to just say that you take care. I don't know what is happening. And that's when I got this epiphany, or, some message that do what you love. And having been at home for so long bringing up children, I'd forgotten what I love. So I spent a few more days trying to remember what is it I love. And I loved being with children. I loved telling stories. I loved singing. I loved dancing. I loved laughing with them. I loved doing art and craft with them. And so in a small town in Maharashtra, I went to a school, hired a hall like this, put up paper notices in the marketplace, and announced a summer camp for 3 weeks for children. I said stories, music, dance, art, craft, send your children, and I waited. I thought 15 bachche aayenge, if I get 15 children, I will go ahead. After 30 registrations, I had to refuse and say no. So I did this summer camp, 3 weeks, despite I was on medication, so I was taking medication and still doing the camp. Thankfully, I had a very good doctor who said, go ahead. When I went for my follow-up checkup after 3 weeks of being with children, music, dance, jumping, laughing, performing together, he saw my reports and he said, I have to stop your medication, you're totally fine. Totally, And I remember asking him that, you told me that steroids are, they're like, you get addicted, the body gets addicted. So they don't stop you like that, 80, 60, 40, that's how they stop. It's called tapering, apparently. I said, what about tapering? He said, what about tapering? You're totally fine. 0 tablet inside you. So just like that, my medication stopped. And what was being shared by all of them here, do what you love, follow your path. Life taught me the hard way, but no complaints. So after 2008, I realized that whatever happens, don't leave being with children, don't leave telling stories, don't leave music, dance, art. I didn't even know that time that storytelling could be a career. So the next year or so I spent in trying to find out how do you do it. And I came across a storyteller in US, Kathy Spagnoli. I emailed her and she gave me a very nice piece of advice, which, ma'am, it refers to your question. It really helped me. She said, it's very nice, Deepa, you're passionate about storytelling. Please do it. Go ahead, tell stories to children, but don't expect to make money from it. She said both, she didn't stop me. So what I used to do is I used to tell stories and I used to, be an MC, the master of the ceremonies, anchor. I used to do anchoring for events. I knew event managers, they would give me some assignments. So I would do 2-3 assignments ki thoda sa ban gaya paisa, and the rest of the time storytelling. And I would get paid like 500 rupees for storytelling. And even that, the schools used to ask, Acha, you want to get paid for telling stories? And I would say, ma'am, this is only my petrol ka paisa. Yeah, that's how it started. And like you mentioned, the trade-off. I knew that my friends were already vice presidents of IBM and Infosys and Cognizant, and I'm not going to make that kind of money. But I'm also having to balance my life so that I don't have to ask anybody for money. So, utna karke shuru hua, and I don't know when I, didn't have time for event managers. I'm sorry, yaar, I have a storytelling assignment. I'm sorry, I have to. It just became like that over a period of time that the path for storytelling came, and that's what I tell my children too who are in college today. Find some ways to be self-reliant. Jo bhi career le lo. Don't bank on, that something will come and solve your problems. Yeah, this is what I got. This is not what I planned to speak, but I started with that because of all the sharings I heard now. And it just reassures me, that I am on a good path and I'm taken care of. I think when we listen to our heart, we get taken care of by life. That's my learning. And from there, let's go to a story. Would you like to listen to a story? Yes. So I like to tell musical stories. Yeah, and musical stories, this is a secret of storytellers and I'm sharing with you today. Musical stories live up in the universe and we have to invite them. Yeah? So could I invite you to join me in inviting the musical stories? Yeah? Super. The energy is already musical, yeah? So the effort is very little required here. But let's do it. It's very simple. You have to watch me very carefully, do what I do, and sing what I sing. Yeah? Can we do that? Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, ni, dha, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. Wonderful, wonderful. So congratulations, we have invited the musical stories and they are here. What I brought today is not my usual long single story. A lot of little stories, like a bouquet of stories. Yeah? So here we go. Come, listen, everybody. Just for you I have a story. Come, come, listen, listen, everybody. Just for you I have a story. I'm so glad you're listening. Sometimes nice and sometimes scary. Sometimes nice and sometimes scary. Just for you I have a story. Come, 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 come. Listen, listen, everybody. Just for you I have a story. And with the very first story, we go to a beautiful jungle, a forest with birds and bees and flowers and trees. And can you name any animals in the forest, please? Tiger, okay. Elephants. Anything else? Any other animals in the forest? Monkey, deer, squirrels, snakes, frog. That's what I was waiting for. Yeah? You know, I think you're the first one who has ever said frog. I never hear frog as the answer, and that's where our story starts. The frogs are very thankful to you, but usually nobody remembers the frogs. And even now the frog said, see, last the name came, at least one small girl thought of us, but nobody ever thinks of us. We have to do something special. Somehow we have to make everybody notice us. So the frogs have a frog meeting. And the frog committee decides to have a frog race. Yes, a race is a good idea. And then they say, yeah, but the race should also be special, no? Regular race, who will come? Yeah. And so they decide to have a frog race, which is who will reach the top of the castle. You see, there was an abandoned castle, एक भवन था, बिल्कुल जंगल के outskirts पे, on the outside, there was an abandoned castle. So they decided whoever reaches on top first is going to be the winner. So everywhere the announcement went, listen, listen everybody, the frogs are going to have a race on Sunday, Jan 12th at 10 a.m. Everybody be there. And so all the animals turned up and they said, we have to cheer for our frog brothers. Come on, brother, green one, you're my favorite. Brown, you're mine. Red, you go. Gray, be careful. Everyone was cheering whichever frog they wanted. Yeah, come on, do it, do it. And the frogs started going. They were very enthused by all the audience cheering. And as they were going, slowly, one after the other, what was happening? Yeah? They were slipping. You see, the castle was made of marble, really slippery, very dangerous. And so the audience also realized the problem. And they started shouting, come down, save yourself, be careful. And so the frogs looked at each other and said, yeah, better to come down. They held each other and came down very carefully. All the frogs except one frog. That one kept going and going. And the audience was shouting, come down, save yourself, you'll break your bones. You don't have bones, but come down, save yourself. But that frog kept going and going and going and going. And the rest are shouting, come down, be careful, come down. And it reached the top. So everybody didn't know what to do, and they all started clapping because the frog had won. Now you see, the crow was the umpire. So the crow went flying immediately up, stopped there and said, congratulations, frog. I cannot believe it. You made it all the way up on this marble fort, and with everybody shouting, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. How did you do it? And the winner frog went, eh? That's how the winner frog did it. So when people ask me, how are you managing with professional storytelling as a career, I say, this is the autobiography. Eh? because you will always hear people, right? And I've come from Hyderabad. I recently came to Delhi. In Hyderabad, people, we have our lingo. Are, kahani sunati malum? Apan bhi sunate na? So that's how they would talk about my career. Hey, she tells stories. Even we do that, right? And then anxieties of family. How will you make a living from this? Is it even a career? Even music is a career. Dance is a career. What is storytelling? Nobody's even heard of it, right? So the only thing is, and somehow find your way forward. So I really relate to this frog, and that's why I started with the frog race story. Yes? Another one for you. Oh yeah, this is again a very small story because we're talking about youth and young people and children. So there was a small town in which, there were two little brothers. They were 6 years and 10 years old, and as little brothers are, they would play all the time with each other, sometimes not so safe places, and they would be told, don't go near the well, don't go near that old fort. But as brothers are brothers and little brothers are naughty, they would forget very soon. And they would land up near the dangerous places once in a while. And so it was that they were playing ball near an old well. And the ball fell inside the well. And one brother jumped into the water to get the ball, and he began to drown. It was the elder brother, the 10-year-old. The little 6-year-old found that there still was a rope. He put it in. He somehow pulled out his brother. And they went back home safe. They knew people would scold them, but they went back home safe. And the elder brother said, yes, I fell in and this fellow saved me. All the people of the village, the family of course, and all the villagers said, what nonsense? How can a 6-year-old boy pull out a 10-year-old boy and save a 10-year-old boy? Don't tell us lies. But he said, no, it's the truth. I really saved my elder brother. Don't talk nonsense. You're just 6 years old. How can you save a 10-year-old? But the two boys were insistent. No, we are speaking the truth. We are telling the truth. We are telling the truth. So the villagers took them to the Sadhu Baba who would sit there. Said, Baba, see these two boys, how they are lying. Aap batao inko. Then the Sadhu Baba called both of them. Tell me what happened. We were playing ball near the well. The ball fell inside. My elder brother fell inside. I pulled him out. Sadhu Baba asked, were there any adults nearby when this happened? No, nobody was there. The Sadhu turned to the villagers and said, they are speaking the truth. Baba, what is this? You also agreeing with these little children and their stories? And the Baba said, they are speaking the truth. If there was an adult, the adult would have told that 6-year-old, sit, you cannot do it. A story about the confidence of children. In fact, I was just reminded of it. I was reminded of the story yesterday because in the music class, I was hesitating so much, and my teacher said, this is the problem when you join at 47 years. If you had joined when you were a little kid, you would not worry whether you're singing right, you're singing wrong, you would be full of confidence. Yeah? And sometimes it's our job as adults to just step back and not come in the way of their confidence. Yeah, a story about two brothers. Another story comes from a Maharaja. Listen, everyone. The Maharaja would like to get his portrait painted. Whoever would like to make the royal painting, come forward. This was the announcement that went around in a kingdom. And do you think people would have been interested in making the royal painting? Would people like to come and paint the king? What do you think? Did they have a lot of people coming and saying, yes, I'll paint, yes, I'll paint? You see, nobody came. Nobody came to paint because there was a curious reason. The Maharaja was blind in one eye and lame in one leg. Now, if a Maharaja wants his painting painted, he obviously wants himself to be presented in the glorious and grand manner. And if a painter is going to show the leg and show the eye, the king is obviously going to be angry. So nobody came forward out of fear. No painter agreed. Then they went to many other neighboring kingdoms with the same announcement, and they informed very quietly, what are the characteristics of the king? Finally, one painter came. He said, I will make the painting. It will take me 1 month. These are my requirements. I need a quiet room in the studio. I need you to come at so and so hour. My painting will be ready. Everybody wondered, how did this man agree? The man made the painting. He was focused on his work. And finally, after a month, the painting was ready. It was placed on the throne of the king, and there was a grand public launch of the painting. All the people came there with bated breath. And the king also had not seen it. When he pulled open the curtain, everybody burst out into applause. And the king said, "Wow, what a beautiful portrait." What do you think the painter had done which made it so impressive? Yes, absolutely. The painter had a painting of the king in the side profile. Not only that, he had the king riding on a horse. He was hunting. Yeah? So the left leg, which was lame, was the other side and was invisible, and the right eye, in which he was blind, was shut so that he could point the bow and the arrow. And there was the king on his horse and the entourage and the beautiful grand forest behind. No wonder the king was terribly pleased and gave the royal painter a grand prize. This is the story of the king and his portrait. Yeah? I'll just stop a second and ask, what do you think about this story? What does it make you feel? क्या लग रहा है ये कहानी सुन के? Perspective. Yes, sir. Yeah. In fact, I heard this story from a principal. She was telling other principals, she's a very senior principal, and she was telling, you all complain about parents all the time, कि आजकल parents इतना trouble करते हैं, ये करते हैं, वो करते हैं, which is true. But she said, listen, just like the painter, you have to meet others midway, whatever they may be, wherever they may be. Yeah, this was a thought with which she shared this story to us. Here's another story, and this one comes from Rajasthan. The setting is, yes, not so pleasant one. It is a situation hundreds of years ago when there was a girl and her father. Both of them were in bonded labor, which means they had no freedom, and neither would their children have freedom. They will remain the servants of their masters of the land, the zamindars, the owners of the land. Yeah? So they would work so hard, till the soil, do everything there, and the zamindar would come and take all of it. So one day the zamindar came by and he said, listen, I have a special proposition for you. He said, yes, what is it? I'm making an offering. Yeah? Tomorrow, I will come with a small bag in which I will put 2 stones, one black stone and one white stone. If I pick up the black stone, then yes, you continue in bonded labor, and in fact, your daughter will have to marry me. But if I pick up the white stone, then you both are free to go, and even the land is yours. He made this proposition to the father. The father was confused. Should he take this? Should he not? And the daughter said, Say yes, Father. Let's give it one shot for our freedom. And so they said yes. The next day, the Zamindar came back and he said, are you ready? And the daughter noticed that when everybody, the father and the daughter's face was turned away, the Zamindar had picked up 2 black stones and put them inside the bag. Now the daughter thought, what should I do? Should I tell my father? My father will get worried. Should I point it out? He might cancel this whole program. And the young girl thought, and she got an idea. She said, Zamindarji, you know, all the events, important events in our village, they happen near the community well. Can we do this also near the community well? Then we have witnesses also in the village. And the Zamindar said, all right, let us go. He had a bag with 2 black stones. He didn't have anything to worry. So they went near the community well, and as they were walking, kya ho raha? What is happening? What is happening? Everybody gathered. So they had the whole village for witness. The girl stood right beside the well. She put her hand inside the bag. She took 1 stone. Remember, there are 2 black stones inside. She took 1 stone like this, and suddenly she pretended to trip and fall, and let the stone fall into the well. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry, everybody. But never mind. We can open the bag and we can check the color of the stone in the bag, and we will know which color stone I picked up. And so, of course, there was a black stone. So it was understood by everybody that she had actually picked up the white stone. Just with her cleverness, the girl got wisdom for herself and her entire family. This is a story from Rajasthan. And now is one of my favorite stories about a stone cutter. Have any of you been to the hillside where you will find people from morning to night hitting away on the rock, slowly chipping out bits of stone? I remember when I was in Kalimpong, I saw the people. They keep cutting all day and they collect this entire tray full of stones. For what? For selling in the market. So the huge mountains where the stone cutters are just chip, 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 chip. So our story takes us to the life of a stone cutter who was completely stressed out. What is this? Morning to night, all I do is chip, 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 chip. I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. Desolate and in despair, he said, I wish someone would take care of me. பாடினாலும் உந்தன் உள்ளம் ஒருங்கவில்லை இன்னும் என்ன சோதனையா முருகா என்ன கவி பாடினாலும். I wish something magical would happen. I wish this life of mine would change. And that day, the magical spirits heard our stonecutter and said, all right, stonecutter, what is your wish? Huh? My wish? I can ask for whatever I want? Yes. And that's when he noticed there was a king.
Hailesa, 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 hailesa.
On a palanquin, a king was being taken. The stonecutter saw and said, I want to be that king. He looks so powerful, sitting there grandly in a palki, in a palanquin and going on. I want to be him. And the mountain spirits said, all right. Jimba like a jimba. The stonecutter found himself inside the palki. He was the king. And he was being taken by workers, and he said, this is life. Wow, beautiful. And then the sun was so hot, his royal robe started itching and sweating, and the jewelry was so irritating. And he said, oh my God, the sun is stronger than me. The magical spirit said, do I hear something? Yes, magical spirits, please make me the sun. And so, Jimbaleka Jimba, our man became the sun. He was so delighted, he went shining all over the world and making people happy with the harvest and irritate them also and say, okay, now I'm the one in charge, what you wear, what you don't wear. This was great. And suddenly, ting, 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 dark clouds came and covered up the sun fully. This is no fun. Once again, the magical spirits asked, is there something you want to be? The cloud. The cloud is much more powerful than me. Make me the cloud. And so, Jimbaleka Jimba, our stone cutter, who had turned into the king and then into the sun, now turned into the cloud and went everywhere happily, giving rains when he wanted to, not giving when he didn't want to, covering the sun and having some fun. And he got blown away by the wind. Before he knew it, miles and miles and miles and miles away, he said, no, this is not where I want to be. Wait, 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 wait. Magical spirits asked, do I hear you wanting another wish? He said, yes, please make me the wind. The wind is much more powerful. He said, all right, Jimbaleka Jimba, wind you are. He became the wind, and everywhere he went, across the world, all through the atmosphere, wherever he could, villages and lands and Spain and Australia and everywhere, until he was blocked by a mountain. Oh, so the mountain is stronger than me. Yes, I hear you, said the magical wish-giving spirit. You want to become the mountain? Yes, please. Please make me this powerful mountain. And so, Jimbaleka Jimba, whoosh, mountain you are. Our man became a mountain. Nice and strong and stable and big and watching over the whole world. The mountain was just soaking in this moment of power and pride when he heard chip, 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 chip. And he looked down to see a stone cutter was chipping away such a big mountain. Tuk, 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 tuk. And he said, I want to be the stone cutter. And so the magical spirits went Jimbaleka Jimba, stone cutter you are. And thus the stone cutter became the most powerful person in the world. He became himself. Thank you. Thank you very much. Just some thoughts which I hope have triggered curiosity in you and made you think about some creative ways in which we can communicate and share our thoughts with one another. And I end with one last story. It's more an anecdote, one of my favorite anecdotes of Ramana Maharishi. Ramana Maharishi was going in the train and there was a person sitting opposite with his luggage. Oh, my shoulders are hurting. My shoulders are hurting so bad. My shoulders are really paining. It's such a burden. And Ramana Bhagavan said, put your suitcase down. The train will take care of it. A reminder of what we carry with us, which actually can be easily carried by the train, but we struggle and take it on, and perhaps, at least for someone like me, even take pride in carrying all that load, a reasonless load around. And so I end on the note of, let's put down our suitcase, and a few lines from Kabir, reminding us not to carry anything, just to leave it all. Man laga yaar fakiri mein, man laga yaar fakiri mein, jo sukh paayo naam bhajan mein, वो सुख नाही अमीरी में, मन लागा यार फकीरी में. भला बुरा सबका सुन लीजिए, भला बुरा सबका सुन लीजिए, कर गुजरान गरीबी में, कर गुजरान गरीबी में, प्रेम नगर में रहनी हमारी, भली बनी आई सबूरी में, मन लागा यार फकीरी में, मन लागा यार फकीरी में. आखिर ये तन खाक मिलेगा, कहाँ फिरत मगरूरी में, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, साहिब मिले सबूरी में, साहिब मिले सबूरी में, मन लागा यार फकीर.